Hi guys, how's it going? So we are back at Chorley Springs on the middle pool. I'm on my own today. Harry is at school, unfortunately, but I decided this morning I wanted to go fishing on a very impromptu trip. And don't really do targeting videos, but I really want to catch the Crucian carp that are in here. I did a couple of videos on this fishery a month or two ago, and we did catch a couple, but I've set everything up. I do love that process. So I've got a bit of ground bait here. That's a banoffee mix, which do send the fish haywire. I've just cut up some luncheon meat. There's some worm there, a lot of corn, which is what the Crucians are really favouring, and then some pellet as well. We haven't got any maggots today, and I haven't been to the tackle shop. Those worms are left over from a session at Hilton Park. That video has also been posted, so check that out as well if you get a chance. Let's see what we can get today. Although I've fished this pool a couple of times the last few months and I know it pretty well, I'm on a different peg. I'm on peg 10 today, and I usually fish kind of round on that side. I only chose this spot really because this part of the pool has got less leaves on the surface. You can see over there, there's quite a lot of debris on the surface of the water, and I'm just literally fishing. You can see there it's about 3 feet. Hook to nylon, camisone size 14 I think it is. Might scale that to a 16 or 18. The fish aren't huge in here, so we'll see as the session progresses. I think I'm going to start with the worm and chuck some of that bait in, just literally out here, barely a rod length. See if we can get a fish on the first cast. It's always a good start. So we're fishing first cast out literally a couple of seconds ago. So I've thrown a big handful of pellets, big handful of corn, and 2 balls of that banoffee ground bait mix. So I'm hoping after a few minutes we've got a fish. You can see the fizz there of the ground bait breaking up. I've made it fairly dry, so I think that's breaking up there, as you can see on the surface. And the first fish of the day, a lovely little tench, one of my favourites, on the worm, first cast. I'm not cheating, it was the first cast. What a start. Not very big at all. I'm going to get the hook out and get him back. I think today's going to be good. Just put out this little roach on the worm again. Let's get him back. Just had another couple of tench. Switched to corn just because, really, and they seem to like that as well. I've had a couple more roach, so I think 5 or 6 in 10 minutes. But obviously, if you've seen the other videos of Chorley and the middle pool here, this is a stock pool. I think I said that at the start. So if you want a guaranteed catch, not very big fish. I think the carp run up to about £3 in here. Some silvers, tench, Crucian, mirror, common. I think there's some bream in here as well. You've got to come here. If you're in the Staffordshire area, it's not far. It's in between Cannock and Burntwood and Rugeley. £8 for a day ticket. It's a no-brainer. And you can see there's this blue rope. I think the owner Paul has put across the pool. I can only put that down to, might have had a problem with cormorants or herons or something, because obviously all those bits of tag of foil that he's put on as well. So I hope he hasn't lost too much, because it wasn't here last time. We were fishing the start of November and we were back here in September when it's still really warm. So much bird life in the trees up here. Absolutely loads. Really peaceful. I've got the whole fishery to myself. I'm the only one in the car park. Can't beat it when that happens. Well, I'm going to get back fishing. Got some more fish to show you. Just had another roach. This time on corn. Let's put another piece of corn back on. Recast. Good session so far. Knew it would be though. Lots of bites. Lots of fish jumping out the water. There's always activity on this pool, always, regardless of the time of year, time, in terms of time of day. Yeah. Fish just actually jumped on my float. Never seen that before. I thought if you jumped on the hook. Yeah, this is the bottom pool. Never fished here, to be honest, but there's some big carp in here up to about, well, doubles, early doubles, sort of 12, 15 pound. Loads of roach, chub, gudgeon, perch, rudd. There's some nice ghosties and leathers in here as well, apparently. The pegs are pretty decent. Some big chub in here as well. Oh, here. Pretty shallow. I think it's a shelf of around 1.5 feet in this area. But I think it goes to about, I think Paul said it's about 10 feet, 12 feet in the middle. So it's a pretty deep pool. Maybe we'll come back next time I fish here. Maybe if I bring Harry, see if we can get him a ghostie. He's getting into his carp the last couple of months. In the distance there, here, I think that's a specimen pool. And then there's another pool, because there's 5 here in total. I think that's the Runs pool, I think. Never been down there. Might have wander down there later perhaps, or I'll have to show you guys next time we come here. Okay, we're in again. I'm not keeping count anymore, so I don't know what number of fish this is. It's another little tench. I don't want to swing him in. I want to land that one, so I'll show you in a sec. Beautiful little creature. Fantastic. Pop it in the net. Just lift up. There we go. Loads of tench in this pool. Absolutely loads. Not massive fish, but I don't care. I really don't care. It's a fish, and at Fish Life, both me and Harry are like, well, as long as we're catching, I'm not fussed to the species, not fussed to the size, as long as we're having fun. Still no sight of Crucian carp yet, which is fine. We've mainly caught tench, which I really can't complain about because it's one of my favourite fish. We've had a few roach as well. Hopefully we'll be able to show you 1 or 2 Crucians. We're here most of the day. It's starting to get dark around 4 o'clock now, so we'll probably head off then, but that's a good 6 hours away. So we were a bit quiet for about 10-15 minutes. So I put a massive worm on, and there are some decent carp in here. When I say decent, I mean sort of 3, 4, maybe 5 pound. And something's just had me off and took me hook to nylon. Don't know if it's coming out in the camera here. There we go. So I'm just gonna re-rig up, see if I can get it. So another worm's gone on. I've actually upscaled the hook. I've put a size 12 Drennan wide gape hook to nylon. So if the larger carp have moved in, I don't want to keep getting broke off, so hopefully they're still around. Yeah, they are still around. Decent fish. Decent fish. Gotta be a carp. Gotta be a carp. And I still haven't seen it yet. Is that a carp? Or is that a tench? Yeah, I think that's a carp. Let's get him on the bank. So yeah, lovely little carp. Probably £2. Really nice scale markings on the tail there. Lovely. Harry will be pleased when I show him this later on. Let's get him back in. There's a bit of a steep bank on this side of the pool. Be careful. Biggest fish so far today. Great. Yep, in again. And he's come off. Decent carp. Well, £3-ish. So I've recast it. Just having a couple of little knocks on there at the minute. There we go. We're on. All it is. Lively. Small tench. Beautiful. Another tench. Dozens of tench we've caught today. All about this size. Lively little fella, this one. But beautiful. Beautiful colours. Let's get him back in. Yep, we're in again. Another tench, I think. Yep, here he is. Never get water catching that house, ever. Oh, this time it's a barbel. Not big, but it's a beautiful fish. And it was really lively for a very small fish. Got the beautiful tench. Double figures, easily 10 or 11 pound. I had a strange kind of bite, so I just raised up the rod and caught this. Looks like an old clam, but to me that looks as though an otter has been at that, just because of the way it's looks as though it's been eaten. It's decent size compared to my hand, look. So yeah, let us know in the comments what you think, because may have eaten this. Just chuck it here for now. just perfect. They're absolutely fin perfect. You know, no marks, blemishes on them. Amazing. So we're basically catching tench on all the baits that we've got today. So corn, meat and worm. This particular one was on corn. Single piece of corn. Let's get him back, make sure we don't fall in. Just had a great interaction with a guy called Howard, who works here, works for the owner Paul. He's been in and around this area for plus 25 years, I think. So he's given me a little history on how the fishery came to be, the previous owner, the fact that the bottom pool that we walked around earlier was the original pool. It was already there. It took about a year to get the other pools in, and the two at the back, and you know, the track and the hedge, and some really good knowledge on Chorley. He seemed genuinely interested in what was catching. I told him what we've caught. We caught predominantly tench today, a roach and a couple of barbel. Still no Crucians. He said I should get some if I stick to the corn. So yeah, the previous owner to Paul was a guy called Tony. And apparently what he did, he used to, in the 80s, he was into sort of scrap metal. And he used to buy power stations. And he bought one in Tipton in the 80s for 2 million. He raised the capital from selling parts of the farm. He had a couple of farms. And he bought a power station and made millions on just the scrap. Demolished it and then resold the land. And that's how that guy made his money, which is fantastic. And apparently he owns lots of land around Chorley, around this area. But I think Howard said he lives over Utoxeter way. So not that far. It's always good talking to the bailiffs and all the owners. You get so much knowledge, so much history, and I kind of like that. Bit of blue sky, kind of mid-afternoon now. So the temperature's dropping a little bit. We'll probably leave here about 4 o'clock. We would have had a good, well, I got here at 9ish. Howard did confirm what we thought earlier, that these ropes were put out because there was an issue with cormorants about a month ago. So he said they'll probably be in here for the duration now of the winter, and hopefully that'll be a good deterrent. And that clam that I hooked up earlier, this one here, it's a swan clam, and they put these in a lot of the pools to help with filtration about 25 years ago. And apparently there are no otters, so an otter wouldn't have eaten that. It would have been a mink, Howard seems to think, so that's pretty cool. Well, that one inhaled the hook. Only small. I'll switch to meat. I'm still catching these little carp. I've lost count, really. Mix of commons and mirrors. Loads of bites, absolutely loads. And again, oh, it's come off. I'll put some more meat on. The bites have really dropped off the last 20 minutes. It's gone really dark. It probably doesn't look it on the camera, but it's fairly bright over there though, and it's just started to rain, but we're under quite a decent canopy, and hopefully it's just a passing shower, so no dramas. Having just said it's gone quiet, we got a really nice rudd. Not a bad size either. As you can see him here, he's really starting to hack down in a minute. But it's really bright, so I'm hoping this is just passing. It'll be nice and dry into the brolly. So we did intend to try and target the Crucians today, as we said at the start of the video, and we finally caught one. Finally. It's a beautiful little fish, and that was on a big worm, not on the corn like we've had before, but stunning. Love it. So we're on to something decent. I think it's a carp by the way it's shaking its head. Yeah, I think it's a common carp. Yeah, decent. Probably 2.5, pushing £3. Really nice looking fish. Another little barbel. I think we're about 3 or 4 of those today. Let's get him back. So it's that time, unfortunately, one last cast. Well, the famous one last cast. Might be another 3 or 4, but we will have to pack up very shortly. We are losing light. It's about 4 o'clock and the sun goes down about 4:30 at the moment. So we'll see if we can get one last fish before we go. Happy to end the session on this little carp. This little mirror. He's going to probably jump, but I don't know if you can see him there. As I say, we're losing light. We've caught dozens of these today. I'll just plop him back. Time to pack up. So that's it, we're all packed up now. Just going to get the rod, landing net and umbrella, and head back up towards the car. Really great day here again at Chorley. Can't beat it at the middle pool, lots of fun. Dozens and dozens of tench. Dozens of those little mirror carp, common carp. We've had some decent commons, up to about £3. We've had roach, rudd, and barbel as well. Can't forget the barbel. As always, thanks for watching. Really do appreciate it. And I'll catch you on the next one.